Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
mate.
we hear.
Hi guys.
Hey there.
Evening.
I feel lost.
Yeah, that's 8:01, Pete.
Yep, it's up now. We're a minute behind. Do apologise.
It's disgraceful.
It's a lot better than the 3 minutes that we were late last time. I'm getting better by a factor of 3. Next week will be 20
Assetto
seconds.
crashed again.
I love these guys.
Every time I come out now, it crashes without fail.
Did Tanti leave? Tanti did leave. Oh, he's there.
Oh, I need to pick the right livery.
Do I need to register somewhere?
You do eventually, mate, but we'll let you into the race tonight.
Okay.
I'll get all your details put in because I received that this afternoon. And to be honest, I'm feeling like shit, so I'll probably just spelt your name wrong.
No worries.
Mike,
Just
you
call
there?
me Muppet.
Oh, that's weird because I call everybody that.
Okay.
Canadian Mike? No, guess not. Oh well.
We're booked.
Alright,
In a
guys.
minute.
Yeah, sign up when you're ready. I don't know, Robert, if you've got the passwords or anything yet. I don't know if you're in the group.
No, I'm not in the group.
Right. If you look at TeamSpeak, I'm about to send you a private message.
Okay.
I was just about to say I'm
Same
going to
password as TeamSpeak, isn't it?
Yeah, but he didn't have a password to get into this channel, which I'm giving him now.
Oh,
So-
right. Tried to get it. Yeah.
Robert, that password will get you into this TeamSpeak room and the server for Assetto Corsa for the races and the practice modes and everything.
Okay, thank you, mate.
For a second, I thought they were going to say it out loud. I was like, no.
Right, you are one race down, but there are some people that didn't score points last week, so you're still racing for it, if you know what I mean.
No worries.
Oh yeah, what's the ballast? Was it top 3 or?
It was top 3, mate. You
Alright,
just missed out. Look at that. That's what I said. Being canny.
We have to wait 8 minutes before we can actually jump
guys.
in. Oh, wait, Ben.
Ben.
Looks like there's going to be quite the crew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Andy, I
12.
meant to try and get. You've not been getting your skin again, have you?
20 people, including myself,
Have you
are in TeamSpeak
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
there. I thought I had.
Because I keep seeing your car as white.
It shouldn't be. It was coloured on mine.
How
It
do
must
I
be. It must
locate
be me
you?
then. I'm sitting here thinking, oh, I keep remaining to give Andy the right skin when it's me that's clearly got the wrong one.
It's probably the way I set up the file structure and the name that I used for
No,
it.
it will be the fact that I've still got the original ones that I made, and I don't remember which one you gave me. I can guarantee.
As long as I've got it, I'm the one that takes the picture at the end of the race, so that's really all that as far as I'm concerned, matters. Sorry.
This is one of the things that annoys me about booking. I kind of wish that they started booking
Should I be seeing this server in the server list?
10 minutes before 8.
You should be seeing that server in the server list. Thank you to Kev again.
Definitely make sure you have booking servers shown. It's one of the big things that a lot of people...
There's the angry hamster. You know, buddy?
That's me.
Yeah, I know. It spent me ages trying to figure out what your actual name was.
Sorry.
Okay, so to find the server, obviously online, in the little search box, REVS,
Poor Peter. Oh, I wonder...
and you should see 4 servers up now. One with a padlock on its own,
I wonder if I
and
do
with a
this,
B, that's
if
the
it'll show
booking
up
server.
correctly.
No, I'm seeing none when I type REVS.
And no servers whatsoever.
Ha! That's awesome. That's
Nothing.
awesome.
Make sure to include locked servers as well.
Yeah, on the top, on the box.
I've got nothing in red. No.
Oh, right, well, first one, leave that one blank. Second one, red. Third one, red. Fourth one, red. Then blank on the rest.
Okay.
And see if it
Oh, for
shows
full
up.
servers, yeah. I was like, third one.
It may be that you don't have the track. Which we can sort out really quickly.
Hey, Will.
No, I've done the track.
Okie dokie. Have the Rev servers turned up in?
Yep, got them now.
Yay.
Anybody got any idea why my ping is 812 to the Rev server?
That's nothing.
Because you're using a cheat.
Yes,
Right,
I'm
there's a
ram
RAM
hacking.
hack.
Best I've seen is 60,000 ping.
60,000.
Not sure how it even managed to measure 60,000 ping, but
That's
In
a
time for the
minute.
race, yeah. In the bottom left corner, right below
Either that, Peter. What
my
have you done
finger
to the
down there,
daughter and the
you can
wife
see
that
the
they're trying to
time.
annoy you tonight?
Oh,
You'd see the time we have before booking ends. So that 5-minute countdown, that's when the server opens. And then at that point, we have a 30-minute practice session, 20-minute qualifying, and then the race. So we still got plenty of time. The race itself doesn't go off until about 4 p.m. my time, about an hour from right now.
We only got 1 and 3.
right. So number 2 is what you need for the Lamborghini. That'll be
Oh.
in red, is it?
And just
Yeah,
tell me
Lamborghini
if
and
TeamSpeak is
the
too
Audi
loud,
R8.
And the Audi.
comparing to me
Unfortunately,
or
we
whatnot.
use all of them. I'm sorry. I would suggest definitely buying it. It's well worth it. And there's my plug for Kunos for the evening.
Because the sound mix is completely different than what it was before. And I'm guessing they're probably a
If
little bit
only
too
he
loud.
got commission out of that though.
Yeah.
How many people are on?
That's handy. It's 30% off.
19.
Oh,
so
man.
here's
Worth
money
it.
for him, Pete.
It's going to be a
Look at
good
that,
race.
mate. I'm doing your job.
thing is, well, you download it in 3 minutes.
Would be nice if it was already, pre-downloaded for him, and all he had to do is buy a key.
Would be.
Wouldn't that would fuck me off no end. They really should do the race department way of doing it. You can race in if you've got the class of car. You don't actually need the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be very nice.
I just
Yeah,
hate
I don't think I'll get it done in time today, but at least I'll be ready for the next. Is it 2 weeks' time, next race?
Yeah, 2 weeks time.
Sochi. Was it Sochi? I can't even remember. No, that
no.
was the old schedule.
Yes, it is.
It is Sochi.
Oh.
It's such a difficult track.
Fucking Russian. Steve, I hate you.
Is it all open setups and all that?
Yeah.
Yes, mate. There's no limit on your setups.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, Emmanuel made it to this one too. He had missed a couple
If you want
of
to start
the,
getting practice in, set your tyre wear
the
to
SCC ones.
400% and your fuel usage to 200%.
Can you even do that? I thought you could only set it to 300% in offline.
Possibly, but that's not far off.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there were only a maximum of 24.
Yeah, carry on without me, guys, because I'm definitely going to make it. So.
That is not fair. All right, but well, yeah. You're in, so you can join straight away next week, no problems.
Yeah, that's cool. I joined too late. When I signed up today, I thought it was going to be too late. But it's only after I'd signed up for the forums and I realised there's a race going on tonight.
Final countdown.
Well, strictly speaking, it is a bit.
That song immediately makes me think of Arrested Development now.
To delay the race by an hour, I would do, but I'd get hurt by the people in here.
Seriously, but seriously hurt.
I'm a coward. Who ran off?
No, it's like Thor Gunderson. He's coming back.
He's going to come back with his Viking axe and everything now, and that's it. I'm in trouble.
He'll be back.
Yeah, you like Vikings, don't you, Peter?
I do, but they scare the shit out of me.
Have you watched the other one as well? The was it the Last Kingdom? You not seen that series?
Has he got boobies in it?
Well, there we are, Steve. If ever we know we want to scare the shit out of Pete, we'll all dress up as Vikings and walk up his fucking drive. I'll have him.
I will revert to my true Englishman and bring out my longbow and start firing it at you.
Shield wall! Shield wall!
Testudo!
Not you'd see us until we got to the door, in the Pete, with the darkness around by you.
The thing is, you're more likely to break your fucking ankle on the way up in the holes in the road, so I don't care.
Is everybody booked in, yeah?
You got 15 seconds, guys.
Yep.
Yep. On that bombshell, guys, I'll jump out. Have a good
Cheers,
one.
mate.
Hang around if you want. Have a listen to how it goes on and what goes on. You know, do
There
some practicing
are
yourself.
20 in right now.
No worries, thought.
Cool.
Generally, what we do is it's race silence during qualifying race, but during the practice, people still talk and everything. So you know, ask away. You've got 30 minutes of questioning. You can fire off.
Okay.
All right, so we have, from right now, we have 50 minutes until the race goes off. Yeah, it's,
So
I mean, it's
I'm gonna have
GT3.
2 hours of why the Nissan round here.
Nah, Nissan's pretty good.
I mean, the series itself actually has, the series itself actually has run over spots. Like, it has, like, there's 24 people signed up, and then there's, like, 6 in addition to that. So there's a total of 30 people signed up. And those 6 are on the list. If, like, somebody can't make it, then they get bumped up and they're allowed to race. GT3 is always ridiculously popular.
Sound
There we go.
resumed.
There's literally on or off, isn't it? There's no in between.
Really good for like shorter tracks. I really like it for that.
Yes, Thor. Yes, you can.
I just don't like this. The Nissan is just a real struggle around the quicker sections with the no downforce.
Yeah.
Right. So Zach won last week, didn't he?
Come on, hit me with my penalty.
User disconnected from their channel.
So how much ballast do I get?
I'm not admin apparently. How do I log in? Shit.
Yes, no ballast.
Alright, so I'm gonna have to turn TeamSpeak down. Just tell me if it gets too low.
Better drive this thing with full fuel. Otherwise, I'll just sort of get to the first corner and realise that I've got an elephant sitting in my fuel tank and I won't be able to get round.
This pit stop up, Pete. You put your fuel setting in, yeah?
Yep.
Right, that's a bit
what
better
about the
mix.
pit
They're
stop
still
button and you select your tyre, I suppose.
they're still a little loud, but it shouldn't be as bad now.
What about
there?
As many as your server can handle.
Set up a second preset. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top. So you
Okay.
can set it to
Basically,
repair
as many
the
as your server can handle is how many you can
whatever.
put on it.
Okay.
Disconnected from their channel.
So
I
I've
think
got
there's
one
probably like an
full
upper
fuel
limit of
tyres,
100 something.
One damage repair, one just tyres, and one all damage fuel and tyres.
No, I am on my race setup right now.
Right. I'm
This is
trying
gonna take me
new
some getting used to
tyre
again.
temp because that other one is pissing me off. There's one called G-Force which I'm going to give a go.
Oh, they're adjusting.
See what that thing does.
Oh,
They're
I
adjusting
see.
the
I see.
ballast from last race.
I thought it was meant to have more than 50.
Basically, there's performance penalties. So
No, it's 50.
if you come in
25,
first, I think
12
it's 75. Second is 50, and third is 25 kilos to try and even out the field a bit. It's a clever way of doing it, I think, and it gives more people an opportunity to race towards the front.
Problem is though, Pete, you sure Cav's wrist is able to take any more weight.
You know what? I don't care. That's just me being mean.
I mean, it's pretty much never going to be me at the front, but for the people who are towards the front anyway, gives them an opportunity to actually do that.
Make sure I've got skins for everybody.
I've got enough skin for the wrist at the moment.
You evil, evil man. I still need to look into Flavio's skin because it's not working.
I have to be careful doing that. I wasn't expecting the car to
His skin, he's white.
skid like that on the other side of it.
He's got SDV, but on the side of his, he's got his name on there.
Oh, right, I don't see that. I see it's just a plain
User
car,
joined your channel.
same as Zach.
User joined your channel.
Zach's orange.
And Gunderson, Thomas Gunderson, just a plain car, and Flavio is a plain car to me.
Yeah, at the moment Thomas and Flavio are home to me as well.
Yeah, skin pack needs updating then, doesn't it, or something?
Well, I
Fine,
don't know
let's
if
get
it'd necessarily be a disaster, but in some series it might not be as necessary.
Kev, yours is white, Kev.
Again, as long as you're
Is it?
only adding weight penalties,
I can see the yellow 74
I'm joking,
cars.
mate.
as long as you're only adding weight penalties to the top guys, the guys that are
Steve's is
finishing
yellow as well.
realistically in the top 3 or 5,
Since when
then
have
it
you
should
been
be fine.
sponsored by Samsung?
I can't paint my own, so I just took one from REVS, from Race Department. Should I just link my skin to some topic inside the group? Thomas Streaky.
Yes, do that, and then as long as I can find it, I'll put it into the skin pack.
I did not practice my pit in and pit out. That is
Or should I just...
that is a very good point, Mr. Will. Thank you very much for suggesting that.
Don't worry, all I see is loads of white cars.
Because Ben hasn't got the skin pack.
No, because it wouldn't work for me, so I gave up. So I thought, sod it.
How could it not work for you? All you've got to do is extract it into your AC folder. I made certain of that, Ben.
The download link wouldn't work for me. I told you that 2 weeks ago.
But it works for everybody else, Ben.
I kept saying for so.
Alright, mate, I'll re-upload it properly.
So I just thought, sod it and gave up.
Should be a pretty decent race, though, for me at least. The car is mostly controllable, while still being pretty agile. I'm trying to use a slightly different seating position today, where I'm upright a little bit more than I was in the past, or that I was yesterday even. I'm thinking that might also help with my eyes. We're going to practice a pit entry here, since that was so kindly suggested. Oh, that was almost perfect. I have no idea where my pit will be, but it's pretty easy to see. Hey, Plex. It's pretty easy to see pits in Assetto Corsa because it's a big white box with a yellow pit over it. I think I'll practice that one more time. In pit exit, you don't really have a choice. You have to go down to second for that corner. Especially if somebody's coming down the straight. On the bright side, it doesn't take me all that long to get reused to this car and track combo.
I've got a sneaking suspicion I came out on softs.
You have, Pete.
That'll be why I'm sliding everywhere before the end of the first lap.
Yeah, you basically can't use softs for this combo. And the car is probably pretty quiet for you guys because it's really quiet for me, but this car tends to be really quiet anyway.
Come past me.
Oh no!
Last time I heard a man say that with that sort of love in his voice, I was in a public toilet.
I'm sorry to disappoint, but it wasn't intended in that manner this time.
Oh, I've got a semi-name, I don't need that.
Thank God. I didn't know if you meant that.
I'm gonna stay right here, Ross, now for you.
Unfortunately, in practice, it doesn't offer you your pit box either.
We left, I will, Zach.
It's nice that you can actually practice starts there. I was expecting a car to just be stopped on the side of the road.
You can, like, leave the pit lane area if you're stopping.
I was just stopped on the
You're
right
on
side of
pit
the
exit there, mate, and that's really scary.
pit exit. I'm not the only one that noticed it, so that's good. No, Assetto Corsa does not have a pace car or a safety car. It does not have either. It's one of the easier ways to do the pit exit there. When you know somebody's coming by and they're faster. In the race itself, you can just pull all the way out and force them to be the one to go to the side. Particularly if it's for position. But in practice and qualifying, that's one of the easier ways to allow the other car around. Uh-oh. I might need to lower my diff power a little bit, just to make it a little bit safer. It's a bit on edge at the moment. Oh! That one I just have to not take that much of the inside curb. Oh, somebody is in the SLS. AMG.
Yes.
Because the angry hamster is taken and you can't put underscores in your Twitter name because Twitter hates people. If I had my choice, it would just be exactly the same as my Twitch name, or preferably just the angry hamster itself. But the angry hamster is taken. Or again, if I was able to use underscores, it would be exactly like my Twitch name.
Oh.
It's unfortunate too, because the person who has it on Twitter hasn't posted in literally 4 years now. So it's kind of stupid that they're allowed to just sit on it. Yes, in the REVS GT3 series, you are not allowed to switch cars. I mean, if you really made a really big push for it, they might let you switch at some point. You'd probably lose all your points. But yeah, they gave a month and a half of practice beforehand with different practice servers and pre-season test servers and stuff up to allow plenty of time for people to sort of suss out which car they really
give you a bit too much room then, yeah?
felt comfortable in.
Yeah, it must have looked like a wagon to you.
I didn't want to turn in and click you on the turn in, so yeah, I left it really late.
I think I'll leave the diff power at 30 for my qualifying setup. Let's make the qualifying setup a little bit
right is going to be
more
terrible
dangerous.
with dead tires.
I have no idea what the next race is. I mean, there's 2 weeks between the races.
It's terrible for me anyway, so think of which race is going to get for me.
There's 2 weeks between the races, so I don't think about it until after the other one's done, really. Looks like there's more people around the 2-minute mark than I thought. That being said, if you go to REVS, I'm pretty sure you can probably see the listing of all the tracks that we're running. I legitimately don't even remember any of them. I just look at what's coming up next after I finish the previous one. Potion? What?
User disconnected from your channel.
Not sure if that was supposed to be competition or compulsion. Or it's just a word I'm not aware of, which is also possible. Oh, unless you're saying competition, because yeah, it's a full-on league with points the entire time. That's one of the reasons that I try to make note in my stream titles and YouTube titles and whatnot. I try to make a difference between a club race and a league race. To me, a league race is something that you're going to be driving for a set amount of time in the same car with similar people that is for accruing points, and then a club race is just a one-off fun event that you do that isn't for points. So I think it makes it a little easier for people to distinguish between the two, and to know that there's a little bit more stress involved with the with the league side of things in terms of other people, and they might be pushing a little bit harder and be a little more stressed in those situations than they might otherwise be.
That looked just like you pulled the handbrake with them, then.
Feels much better with 20%. But yeah, it would be. I mean, you never know. If you post enough on there, you might be able to find.
It's just a nightmare.
You might be able to find people that have PlayStation 4. I mean, it's unlikely because the bulk of the REVS people are PC players, but you never know. Some of them might also have consoles and be interested in stuff. It just seems to be, for whatever reason, it seems to be tough to find actual leagues on consoles. Because not too long ago, I actually did some digging for a friend of mine. Well, actually, I guess it was a while ago. It was a few years ago. For a PS3 league for Gran Turismo, and it was really hard to find anything. Like, there were all sorts of club events that went off, and most of them were just like, hey, look for the server to suddenly pop up 5 minutes before the race and then jump on. Seems like the racing game community for consoles isn't quite as organized, for whatever various reasons. Probably going to turn that exposure back down for the race, but in this light setting, I just need more light. I'm back down in the 202s in my race setup.
Guys, can you bring up the pit menu? How do you bring up the pit menu?
You don't in practice. It's all qualifying, it's only in race.
Ah, right, okay, thanks.
Oh, that would be awesome, Will. I mean, these guys have been racing for well before I
Is it just automatic in the race?
was made aware of them.
When you come to a stop in your box,
And,
it appears.
And I'm sure they will be racing till well after I'm
What do you mean, the pit app thing?
able to. Although, I don't know, it'd be kind of nice to race with these guys forever. Because they're so nice. But yeah, I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah,
So
it appears when you come to a stop in the pit box.
Alright, okay. Love the sound of that pit up though, must give it a go.
Oh, there's no fumbling for your mouse when you get in there, you're straight onto it.
It's pretty much a must-have, as it gets you like 3-4 seconds extra time in the pit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially
Is
if you're
that-
adding fuel, because you're not, clicking and clicking and clicking.
I'm gonna have to be really careful
Yeah.
of that.
Is it on race department now?
Yeah.
Well, I'm never gonna be very consistent in these GT3 cars because I don't like the way they feel.
I'll live with that if it stays like that within a second of the two beamers without any weight on them.
But there's definitely cars and categories that I can be much better at. Like realistically, open wheelers, I'm very, very consistent with on the whole. I still make mistakes from time to time, but I tend to make fewer mistakes and I tend to be faster in open wheel high downforce vehicles.
Yeah, not much, but it's affected me a little bit.
Oops.
He says.
Microphone activated.
Sorry, Mama.
No problem.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite one. I really wanted to participate in the Flat 6 series in R Factor 2, but it goes off on Sundays when I do the CMS races, and unfortunately at the time I thought CMS was going to be a lot better than it turned out to be. Although we'll see. I'm giving CMS one more chance since I missed last race. Last race was going to be the other chance I gave them, but it's going to be this week this time, which is GTEs at Magnacore. But if that turns into just being poo-poo over and over again, then I'll probably just see if they have any late entry spots for that Porsche series. Because those flat sixes are a lot of fun to drive, and I think they will make me a better, more consistent driver because you have so few setup options. You have to drive them the way they want to be driven. I think that will tend to make me more consistent on throttle than I am with a lot of other cars. That last corner exit is so tough. But again, we'll see. Depends on a whole bunch of other stuff. Still so loose from the rear.
Yeah, the weight's not affecting me too much.
It's making him quicker in corners, isn't it? By keeping the weight in the toes.
Hey, at least you found something, Will. I mean, again, the big thing is, it's always worth giving a league at least 2 shots. And then, if after 2 races, the people are rude or mean, or there's lots of whining or complaining, or everybody's just way too fast or way too slow, then you can always drop it after that point. But it's definitely worth giving most leagues at least 2 weeks of trying.
Thank you.
I mean, I guess if all else fails, I could always just set up my own league on, like, Sundays. For the first, like, 7 races, it would probably just be me that showed up. But I mean, that's how most of these leagues start. You start with, like, 3 or 4 people, and eventually, over time, you grow them to, like, 30 people. Yeah, Astronaut, finding the leagues that run on specific days can definitely be even trickier. There's a lot of them that run on weekends, and there's a lot of them that run early in the week, as opposed to later in the week. Are we still messing with the ballasts? For me personally, in R Factor 2, I would definitely go for GTE cars.
You know,
The GT3 mod in R Factor 2 is not very good.
Why not?
I guess for GT3, you mentioned
car is
Assetto Corsa also.
Yeah,
Yeah, I fell off like 4 times on it.
Of all the games that have GT3 cars, Assetto Corsa probably has the most enjoyable versions of them. They're still really boring, but
I'm a sucker for using.
They're the least boring of the GT3 versions.
Every time the bloody light.
Oh, actually, speaking of that, Will, when Assetto Corsa comes to console, I legitimately would not be surprised if some leagues go with it. So that might be a place, depending on how much you're looking to spend and how much you're really wanting to stick with console. That might be an option. Is once Assetto Corsa comes out, looking for leagues that are jumping on that. Because not only will it be popular, it should be very enjoyable, even on console to race with, and it should bring that type of community to it. I would assume it might not bring that community at all, but I'd be really surprised if it didn't.
Just find yourself right at the top of the hill, like I'm pretty sure I'm not at the right point.
On the bright side, it looks like I'm not the only one having issues with these cars around here.
I installed this Wagnum's filter.
And I think that releases on console in March or April.
In these kind of conditions, the flare and the exposure gets all.
Well, the main reason they'll say sign up if you're sure you can stay is because they want to have lots of people to race against. I mean, again, if all of the people, like, that's the thing. Don't feel any pressure whatsoever to stay with a league if the people are mean or jerks or if the racing is terrible. You have absolutely no allegiance to that league whatsoever. Like, the only reason I enjoy the REVS guys is because I've done multiple races with them and they've all been almost all, have been very, very clean, fast, fun, and interesting. And that's why but even so, if all of a sudden 2 or 3 races in a row, or God forbid 5 or 6 races in a row were just terrible, I would drop out of the leagues I was in and look for other ones. So definitely make sure you don't have any artificial allegiance to it if you try it and it turns out to be terrible, no matter what they say. I mean, you can always just make up some excuse, be like, oh, my working hours changed, I can't make it anymore, sorry guys, I couldn't foresee this, something like that.
Guys, I've been trying to use Overwolf with TeamSpeak in Assetto Corsa, but I can't get it to stay on top. Has anyone else had the same problem?
It won't work with setup.
Something to do with the graphics engine?
Yeah.
I use this one. Absolutely no idea. I think it's just called.
Well, that's a lot of people, that's for sure.
It looks disgusting.
But that being said,
Alright, is that the...
There's a couple communities I know of in Project Cars that have plenty of people that are mostly terrible people, so the sheer number doesn't necessarily mean that it will get you good racing. So just keep that in mind. Not saying it's going to be terrible, again, without actually seeing them race, you never know.
There's like a little Windows 98 scroll bars on the side of it.
But there's a couple groups on Project Cars in particular that came from Grid Autosport that I was like, nope.
It's not working for me.
It's like, yeah, you guys have lots of people, but the vast majority of your people are a-holes with no semblance of car control or spatial awareness.
A way to make me feel ancient.
Hopefully it's not the same group you're aiming for, and I'm guessing it's not since they're PS4 and not PC. Or if it is the same group, hopefully they have a different contingent of people on their console side. I think the hardest thing on PC is just finding a group of 20 plus people in one place. Because not only does the community on PC fragment themselves by game, they also fragment themselves by country, by speaking language, by what type of car, what day of the week. Like, there's it's so hard to find a single group that has any decent amount of people to consistently race. Particularly if you're US based. If you're US based, you're almost completely screwed when it comes to league races. Because there's just so few places that have enough people to actually run events. Hey, Brussels.
Look out.
Yes.
I wonder how long we have left in practice. Probably can't be that long.
Yeah, probably.
My lap times are so bad right now.
I'm looking forward to this one.
I don't know. I originally thought I didn't like this track, but it's alright. I just don't like two corners. That's all.
I just don't know. This car is going to be evil once the tyres are gone, Ramjet. If I stay out of the walls, I'll be amazed.
I know you don't normally do it, but I would suggest once that happens, turn on traction control.
I was sort of playing around with it. This car's got so much torque, the traction control doesn't actually work.
Does it just make it tick?
It makes you power slide, but doesn't actually control the slide.
No, that friend isn't. He got super busy with school and work. He hardly has any time to play anything anymore.
And it still doesn't stop.
Unfortunately.
At all.
When you say full, what number?
Oh, the transition. I was on a fast lap too.
It's the other way, and this was far. I went like I left.
Oh, it's still practice, and we just switched over to qualifying. So we have 20 minutes of qualifying, and then we jump into the race. So right now we're in qualifying. Which means most people's will probably get very quiet on TeamSpeak. I didn't realize my toe at the rear was so small. I could have been adjusting that instead of the diff power. This should be a good race though, all things considered. Yeah, if he all of a sudden has time again, I will definitely mention that. If I remember. Or if not, I'll just ask you again at some point after that happening. Okay, we just went into qualifying. We have 20 minutes, which is about 9 laps, considering, actually about 8 laps if you do 2 stints, so to speak. Or less if you do something silly like that. It's my outlap. I just have to get around the track safely while warming everything up. Hey, Neil Pardo. We battled with him yesterday. This is one of the nice things about REVS is there's quite a few of them that do multiple series. So you'll tend to see some of the similar people across some of the different leagues. Oh, I did not realize Neil was doing that. Oh. Dilly was already letting me by. Oh. So let's try and get a decent outlap in. The trick with these cars with the 400% tire wear is you need a decent outlap to get everything warm, but you really want to be careful not to scrub any extra life out of the tire at all. because it will cost you a ton of time. Hey, there's Flavio. We were practicing with him yesterday. All right, 4 more clean corners. And on cue, I screw up a corner. I completely missed my brake marker. The ones on the left-hand side on that particular turn are really hard to see because they're cloaked in shadow. And if you miss one, it's really easy to miss one of them and not know where you are. I really wish they had white numbers on them instead of black. In quali, you probably shouldn't be flashing your lights at all if, unless somebody's being really egregious and holding you up for an extended period of time and they are not on a hot lap. If the other person is on a hot lap, they have equal right to that road, regardless of if you are faster or not.
Bad stuff just...
And it's just like in Formula 1. If a Mercedes happens to catch a Marussia, while that Marussia is also on a hot lap in qualifying, the Marussia has absolutely no reason to let that Mercedes by, because they're both on completely valid hot laps. Now, if one of them is not on a hot lap, then by all means they should let the others by. But it's a weird thing that a lot of people think in qualifying. Yeah, if it was his outlap, he definitely should have let you by. Now, personally, I wouldn't flash the lights unless they did it probably 2 or 3 times, or it was really, really harsh. Oh, you were both on your out? If you were both on your outlap, then it doesn't matter. He's not holding you up because neither of your laps matter. And if you're both on outlaps and you're the car behind, you should be the one to back off and create a gap, unless he initiates that first. This is going to be a decent lap. Should be a decent lap. What did we get? 2017. Actually wasn't that good. Flashed them once by accident. That's funny. Screw it, we're gonna make a last second change. Worst idea ever, but we're gonna do it. Such a bad idea. Such a bad idea. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? If by that you mean you went off, on, then yeah, that's... I don't know. For some people it matters a little bit more, but for that sort of, like, I don't know. It's probably a combination of things. Like, who knows, maybe they were angry because they had just crashed on a fast outlap. And then they see you flashing their lights in the mirror, and it makes them even more annoyed. And there's a whole host of things it could be. The funny thing is, to me, I rarely see people flashing their lights in my mirror anyway. Particularly in qualifying. In qualifying, I'm almost 100% focused on what's ahead of me. Like after I leave the pits and I know there's nobody in my immediate vicinity, and then I don't even care if somebody's catching up to me.
There you go, Neil.
What is that anyway?
This is gonna be a tough race. Keep this thing on track, steady, without ruining my tires for 30 laps. It's gonna be tough. Hey, monkey. Oh, that's a terrible noise. That was a terrible noise. Oh. Yeah, that was a really good entry to turn 1. That alone was worth, that's usually 4/10. Oh, that was such a good entry to turn 1. Somebody's gone off up here ahead. Oh, they got it gathered up or went back to the pits. Nope, maybe they didn't. It's always scary when you see those yellow flags and you're on a very good lap for yourself. Trying to pick better brake points for some of these corners that are more reliable. Because right now I'm using a couple shadows that are likely to change. There's also a couple corners where I'm braking a little too early. Particularly on low fuel. Like they're brake points that work on full fuel but not on low fuel. I think this is going to be one of my sketchiest corners the entire race. I'm just going to have to start taking a little bit easier like that. Just to guarantee I get through it well. I should not have looked at my time split. So I was way up on my time and now I'm super nervous for these last couple corners. Just nice and clean. Just 2 more. Now, if I could do that lap 30 times in a row, I would probably be towards the front end of the field every single time.
Got an issue with you at the moment, mate. Been this lap,
That was
this lap.
such a clean lap, holy cow. Like every single corner felt nice and solid. A 2:00.008. Are we still messing with ballast? It's interesting. Or there's just something that's causing that to come up. I think I found a decent break point for that corner. It's that yellow, sorry, the white sign between the 2 orange brake markers. I think it works pretty well. Might not work as well on full fuel. If that downshift protection kicks in, it really, really hurts. Because I need that engine braking from high revs. Hey, Paradox. By the way, I don't know what it is about the sort of month of February. But seriously, there are so many people who are sick. Like, it's the weirdest thing. There's just an immense amount of people who are sick right now. Like in REVS, there's at least 3 or 4 people that have the flu. In World Racers, there's at least 2 that have flu-like symptoms. on the various streams I watch, there's about half of the people that are having flu-like symptoms. Like, it's so weird. Oh, 59.8. Even with that huge screw-up, he still managed to get a faster lap in. And somebody comes across with a 57 and makes me feel completely inadequate. Oh, there's some really fast guys in here. I'm just glad I got above 2 minutes. That was my goal for qualifying, to get under a 2 minute. Even that 2 minute flat I probably would have been pretty satisfied with. All things considered. A cannibal. Makes you sick in a different way, Monkey. Oh. You see how much time I gained by getting that corner correct. I mean, it's been weird weather pretty much everywhere. That might be at least a small part of it. Ah! Oh well. All right, I don't think there is a I don't think there is a warm-up, so I'm going to take these 5 minutes to use the restroom real quick and grab some water. So I will be back very shortly before the race starts. All right. Got a fresh thing of water, got the kidneys emptied, got the nostrils emptied. I think we're good to go. All right, Paradox. Well, if you're still here, thanks for stopping by at least. All right, so we put race back on it. We need to make sure we still remember how to drive it with the race setup on. Hey, 12th place for qualifying for me is not too bad. You guys can't see it because it's right in the middle of the screen. Yeah, the BMW is annoying. I'd like to see a GT3 series where it wasn't the most popular car, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. Right now we need to make sure our newfound breakpoints work for this race fuel, or we need to make sure they can be adjusted for this race fuel. Just let him go by there. No, I have not seen it in the GT3 specification yet. I didn't know Callaway had gotten their hands on one yet. Because they're pretty much the only people that run the GT3 Corvette. Yeah, I assumed it was Callaway. That's funny. I just assumed that's who it was. Because again, in the past, they've been the only group that has run the Corvette in GT3 spec. Because Corvette themselves, they only make it for Callaway, basically. Because nobody else... I mean, they'd be more than willing to make it for others, but Callaway's the only one who really wants one. And for themselves, they only do the GTE version. Again, now in the race itself, you cannot escape back to pits. If you have a huge issue and crazy bad things are happening, what you actually have to do is Alright, with this much fuel in it, we can actually just floor it, so that's good. But there's,
Alright guys, make sure you got your race setup spot in.
Yep, good luck all.
Yep.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, everyone.
Why am I still in the pits?
But an hour's racing as well, so this first corner, we don't really need to bounce anybody together.
Why am I... Why am I in the pits? I guess I have to start
Why
from
am
the
I
pits.
starting in the pits?
I don't know. Did you go back to pits when you were on the grid?
No.
Did
No,
you
it's-
put a lap in quality?
Yeah.
I've got the same thing, Neil.
I've no idea on that, guys. There's definitely enough pit boxes on this to start, as in grid slots, sorry.
Well, that sucks.
Try going to pits and then into race.
Microphone muted.
Oh well, that sucks.
I'm really sorry, Neil. I've no idea why.
No, don't let me. So do I go when the lights go red?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So we both just have to start from pit lane. Oh well, not the end of the world. There's definitely some people I can get up there and pass, and I'll at least have Neil to race with, but it still sucks. My guess is I went back to pits right as it was transitioning sessions. That's my only real guess. Somehow I just timed that really poorly. No, they're not going to restart. We'll see what we can get done.
What happened there?
After the race.
Got one position back already. I was trying to leave him room and he just kept coming over. God. Nathan doesn't have quite the same situational awareness. Let Thor through here. Thor suddenly found his pace. There's a really tough sequence of corners to take side by side. Thor's car seems really fast in a straight line. But he doesn't seem to have all that much speed mid-corner. So he's probably got a significantly less amount of downforce on. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what we can do. If I can march my way back up to like 12th, I'll be pretty satisfied with that. And considering how practice and qualifying went, I think there will be plenty of people, probably including myself, making various mistakes throughout the race. Right now I almost need to ignore Thor behind me because he's again, he gets really good runs, but then he can't brake as late as me. And he can't seem to enter the corner as fast as I can. So I just almost need to ignore the fact that he's getting the runs he is. Unless he gets all the way alongside me before a corner. Also seem to accelerate out of the corner a bit better than he does. He explodes towards the corner apex, though. Those kind of people are always scary to have behind you. The people who really throw the car at the corner. Oh! Burrow's heading off. His tires are going to be terrible, so I gave him a wide berth there while he got used to the stuff that was on the surface of them. Oh man, cars everywhere! The shadows in that section make it so hard to see. It's also worth noting that you definitely want to preserve your tires a little bit in a race like this. So you don't really want to throw every bit of speed at the car and at the tires that you have in this first part of the race. You want to dial it back a little bit to make sure you have tires left towards the end of the stint when you really need them. Again, we're looking to pit somewhere around lap 16 or 17, hopefully. Preferably 18 if we can get all the way there, but I'm not sure the tires will last that long. But no earlier than lap 15. This AMG might be difficult for me to pass because he's probably going to be very quick in a straight line. So we're definitely going to have to keep our eye open for any opportunities that arise.
Sorry, I ran a bit wide.
My brake points also seem very similar to his, which again will make it tricky to outbrake him at all anywhere. A lot of people braking real early for that penultimate corner.
Ooh, shoot.
He gets out of that last corner better than I do. That's for sure. Had to avoid running into him there. Not the worst thing in the world, because I was not happy with the way Thor was racing behind me at all. I mean, he was being incredibly aggressive on entry. And eventually he's gonna pop somebody in the back of the trunk. And I'd rather it not be me. Yeah, like I said, I definitely feel like I have good enough, safe enough, solid enough pace to get myself back up to about 12th-ish. It's just going to be a matter of finding ways around a lot of these guys. It's also why I kind of don't want to use my tires too much right now, because as these guys all peel off for their pit stops, if I have tires left, I can put in some really, really quick laps there and just try and pass them under pit stops. Just try and undercut them, I think they call it. Keep having to take poor exits from corners to avoid hitting people. I seem to be able to brake so much later for that next to last corner than other people can. Those little stutters are so off-putting. I mean, you can see all these people going wide, getting crap on their tires that doesn't let them exit the corner as well as they could. Oh, Steven really got on the brakes well there. That was impressive. For sure I'd be able to take him on the outside after that corner. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Oh, ho, ho. Right after saying this is bad. That's really annoying. My car might be fine, but that's going to cost me a lot of time on my pit. Oh, I'm way down on power now. Holy cow. As soon as I hit 4th, it stalls now. Ugh. Ah! Well, that's frustrating. Now I have to decide whether it's going to be worth it for me to stay out or not. It's one of the big downsides to getting stuck behind that whole situation. I mean, Neil was able to make his way. He had just enough extra space from where his pit stall was. He was able to make his way through all of these. Now, I do have the option of throwing on hard tires, like just pitting now, throwing on hard tires. Actually, no, I can't. I won't have enough fuel to make it all the way. So if I pitted now, it would just be to fill up the tank see how long that would take me, and then probably leave the same tires on and then just pit for tires around the same lap anyway. It's so disappointing. My pace was so solid. I mean, I think I can still pass at least a couple of these guys, but I don't have anywhere near the pace I had before. At least it doesn't feel like it. Particularly out of 5th gear. Like in 4th gear it starts to do it, and then in 5th gear it just chugs. It doesn't pull the same way towards 6th like it did before. Again, we'll make the best of the situation that we can, at least. Definitely have to brake earlier for that corner now. I mean, on the bright side, it's only really 5th and 6th gear that are really heavily affected. So for the most part, it's only 2 straights on the entire circuit where it's really making a large difference. Well, 3. I always forget about this section. But we'll see. I mean, it might clear itself up a bit over time. It might have just been like crap on the tires, or a little bit of sort of flat spot or burns or blisters on the tires or something. Wow, I'm not a fan of that move. Not a fan of that move at all. I mean, it didn't pay off for him anyway, but that was not cool. God, it's so much harder to keep my speed through those 2 corners now. Still putting in decent lap times. Waiting for a pit stop already? That's interesting. Wow, the front 3 are way ahead of everybody else. Like, way ahead. You look on the map on the left-hand side. I mean, a 2:02.5 for a race lap, that's doable. I'd rather it be in the 2:01s, but I think I can actually manage until my pit stop with that. Again, my pit stop's going to be a bit longer because I've got damage to repair. But I think that's a decent enough pace. It's just, unfortunately, it'll just feel like my pace will be similar to as if I have burned through my tires in the first 8 laps by pushing them really, really hard. Because it almost feels like the bulk of it is I've just lost front downforce more than anything, is what it feels like. Or at least downforce from somewhere towards the front of the car. Particularly through here, because the car is not It was oversteering a bit here. Now it's dramatically understeering through that section. But it's at least manageable, so I don't have to come in and make a pit stop. That's what I was most worried about, because that's just hugely detrimental to strategy. Braking too early for that still. On the bright side, most of my brake points are exactly the same as where they were also. That hasn't been negatively impacted. That was weird. That felt like I got a ton more braking efficiency. I mean, I am still 14th, so I've gotten back to where I was before the incident. You can do it! I mean, we'll see. My goal is still the same as what it was. To try and get back up to around 12th. And again, the one bright side is most people are spread out enough now.
I'm a lap down on you.
That it's not going to make as much of an impact as it... Like, if that had happened on the first lap, I probably would have had no choice but to come in and pit. Because the time you lose early in that stint is really important. Like, basically, the beginning of the stint and the end of the stint are really important for this style of strategy. I mean, realistically, the entire stint is important, but the beginning and the end are the most important to it. Because the beginning, you have to push safely to make sure you still have tires, and at the end you have to really use those tires when the car and the tires are both not wanting to be used. Alright, we're coming around to start lap 10 here. So 6 more laps minimum before we come in to make our stop. I kind of saw that coming because my braking is very different for that corner than his. At least he gave the position back, so he knew 100% it was just a mistake. It's unfortunate because it cost me time to the people ahead, but I can't really blame him for pushing and trying to get a position that he thinks he can get. Again, if I didn't have the damage, I'm pretty confident I could just pull away from these guys. But it's entirely possible that I'm just not as fast as I was in those first few laps anyway. Oh, it looks like something bad happened behind me. All of a sudden they're all just gone. I mean, that's the exact thing I wish Steven had done when he slammed into the side of me. It's what he should have done. Considering that was 100% his fault for going off track and then sliding back on.
Hitting him.
Interesting, people are starting their pit stops now. Yes, you can fix damage. In Assetto Corsa, you can fix 100% of damage as long as your car is still running. So if your car is still running out on track, then you can fix it. back to brand new in the pits, which is very, very, very nice. Again, it may take a very long time depending on how much damage it is, but you can fix it all the way back to super perfect, awesome condition. Which again, unfortunately means my pit stop will be a little bit long, but the time I gain on track will definitely be worth it. I really don't think I've ever had a car feel, a GT3 car in Assetto Corsa feel this solid this far into a stint. Because it's worth remembering that fuel is at 200%, tires at 400%. So effectively it's like I've done 40 laps on these tires. And in Assetto Corsa, for a car to still feel this solid underneath me at that sort of tire wear, that's pretty good. So I'm pretty satisfied with this setup all around. Again, right now it's understeering like a pig in a couple high-speed corners. But once I pit and fix the damage, that should be adjusted. Unfortunately, that means I'm going to have to readjust afterwards back to oversteer. Because that's what I was getting before, particularly in that fast right-left there, left-right. I'm used to a tiny bit of oversteer there, so I'm going to have to be careful the first couple times around that I don't spin it and ruin my new set of tires when I get them. It's also worth looking at the fuel now. Alright, so I've got about 6 laps of fuel left. So I can go all the way to lap... Really, I can go to lap 18 if I really want to. I'll probably stop about 6... I'll probably stop at 16. So I don't want to stop right at 15. I want slightly better tires at the end of the race than I have now. But... Hey, we caught back up to the AMG. Now Kevin is probably 100% faster than me. Right now, I am actually ahead of him on track for positioning because he's done a pit stop. But I can almost guarantee you he will be significantly faster than me. Oh, unless he's a lap down. Because he's showing as... Oh no, he's just behind me. Not a lap down, sorry. If he were a lap down, he would be a darker color than what he is on the minimap. But it is legitimately for position here, so I don't have to let him by. He will probably get me sooner rather than later. But I have no need to let him by. Wow. He's faster in a straight line, and he can brake later than I can. Whew.
Yeah, I've proceeded.
Like I said, he'll probably get around me sooner rather than later. Oh, Kevin is very, very fast. Ooh, is Reese still going for his pit stop? No, he's not. Again, with his AMG, this is also for position. Oh, maybe it's not for position. Or maybe he didn't think it was for position? That's weird. I was not expecting that. But now I can basically check my gap to Kevin here. If I'm able to mostly keep up with Kevin, then we can definitely stay out. Because that means I have enough pace to be mostly valid here. Yeah, that might have been too much of that curb. I'll have to be careful doing that. But if he just pulls away really, really quickly, then it would probably be worth stopping right at 15. So we could sort of use him as our pace setter to know whether we're enough on pace to bother staying out. Yeah, he uploads most of his races to YouTube. There's a couple of the REVS guys that do. There's not very many of them that stream. Andy Bonar also streams, but he doesn't talk while he does it, but he does stream. But yeah, there's quite a few of the REVS guys that do YouTube uploading. I mean, the big thing is, Kevin has not pulled away from me in anything near like what he did at Suzuka yesterday. So I definitely have much more pace relative to the top guys than I did yesterday. So that means I've hit the setup and my driving more solidly than I did with the GTE car. That being said, it's actually a little bit harder to miss your setup in a GT3 car. So there's that part of it. Oh, gonna go a bit wide there. There we go. Got it dialed back in. Unfortunately, it's hard to read chat around this track, because so much of it is just turn after turn, an important braking zone after important braking zone. That is a very good point, Carl. I mean, luckily everybody behind me is far enough behind that I don't have to worry about any crazy missed braking points right now. Yeah, that is, I do hope that I have a big enough gap when I come out of the pits. Nova. Try to take credit for the whole setup. Oh, that's awesome, Will. Hopefully they turn out to be really solid racers for you. And like I said, I don't want to pit on lap 15. I prefer to pit on 16 or 17. And we have plenty of fuel to do it. That is not a concern. My pace actually isn't that bad. I mean, I'm still in the 202s, the high 202s. Oh, that was 204. All right. Why was that a 204? That's really bad. That's really bad. All right, I might want to pit right on lap 15. Holy cow. The other thing, unfortunately, is my pit stop is going to be a bit longer. One, I'm taking quite a bit of fuel, but more importantly, I'm going to have repairs. Although in Assetto Corsa, it does everything simultaneously, so the repairs will start the instant I tell it to start this pit stop.
Okay.
Wow, I'm just really slow through that first sector now. That's interesting. I don't feel like I'm hitting my corners any differently. Oh, my acceleration out of the corner is much worse. I guess my rears just aren't providing the same grip that they were earlier. I'm getting on the throttle at about the same point. But it's just not pulling me out of the corner like it was before. Yeah, so my tires are definitely pretty much gone, feels like. Oddly enough, they still have enough grip to pull me through the corners, it's just not, I'm not getting any speed out of the corner. Which means the differential is probably doing a lot of work to keep me from spinning. My guess is my rears are wanting to give up a lot of the time into the corner. I'm still going to go around one more time. I think it's not too insanely slow of a pace. And it's going to pay off when I don't have this same problem at the end of the next stint, which is at the end of the race. We'll go around one more time. Oh yeah, my guess is the rear tires are have just given up quite a bit. Yeah, it just had an update for a new specification. I'm definitely interested to try that. We'll probably try that on Friday for a bit. But I'm definitely interested to try that new, again, trophy specification. I think they called it the Evo spec. No, this is lap 16. Wow, the tires have really given up. And I was looking at chat when I shouldn't have been. No, 18 was the last lap I could possibly pit on. The tires are too far gone now. It's a mistake not to pit at this point, because I'm losing tons of time. I probably should have just pitted last lap, but that's alright. But the tires have definitely given up the ghost now.
Pitting in.
Sounds like Emmanuel is pitting ahead of me. Almost hit the wall there. Oh, my pit stall is the first one. Now, unfortunately, I have to do this because I don't have the mod installed for the pits. I need to install it soon. So that does cost me some extra time. If you have it on Steam, yes, it will automatically upgrade it. Oh, wow, my repairs are more extensive than I thought. So the top right corner over there, the little wrench bar, that's the repair bar. So I had more damage than I even realized. We'll see where we come out. Unfortunately, I think I might be behind Stephen Wenham, who was the one that caused that incident. But we do have fresh tires, a fully repaired car. I probably lost a lot of positions from that. Yeah, I'm going to lose 2 more here at least. If not this third. Alright, now we gotta get used to the car again. And we have a lot of fuel on board.
Thanks.
Wow, he has to go a lot slower through the middle of the corner than I do. I also have to make sure I don't burn my tires too heavily right here. Bottom left says I'm in 16th. I don't know if that's true or not. If that is, that sucks. That means I lost 4 positions. On the bright side, the car feels correct again. I can actually push it through here. I was not able to do earlier. I was definitely down on power before. I'm hitting the right gears in the right places, and it's pulling out of the corner like I expect it to now. God, it feels like the car's supposed to again. I'm pretty sure he's very fast in a straight line, unfortunately. Because even behind him, he's just pulling away here. Also means he's having to brake earlier than me, though. And he's not going to get through the middle of the corner as well as I do. Wasn't quite 100% sure of where his brake point was, so just broke a little early. Should not have cost me a ton of time. I've developed a way to do that where it doesn't cost me enormous amounts of time anymore. God, he pulls out of the corner so much better than I do. I can't really do anything about it. I mean, even when I get a better exit like that, by the time I hit 4th gear, he's going faster than I am. It's like 1st to 3rd, I've got him. 4th, 5th, and 6th, he's got me. Woohoo! That was a big old slide. Got an extra gear to try and leave some room on the exit, but he gave up the position anyway. Whew. Steven went wide. I could still hear his car, so I wasn't sure if he was actually there or not. So I just went ahead and left room on the last corner just in case. Again, in real life I would have been able to glance and see, but a bit too quick into the corner. Again, I'm still adjusting to having the right downforce back on the car and having the right amount of power. Bright side, it seems, with the way I'm catching these guys, it seems like I have my pace back. So we might be able to make up. Assuming something doesn't happen like it did earlier, I might be able to make up the positions now that I was trying to make up earlier. Wow, he slows down a lot for that corner. Oh. I don't know if he was trying to let me by or what, but that was... I had to really get out of the gas to avoid running into the back of his AMG there. That was really frightening. In real life, that would have scared the poo out of me. Quite literally, my seat would be slightly brown. Because as I lifted, I mean, it's a complete lift in a corner where you really want the speed and downforce from the grip and the tires and the aero to really be working for you. The car basically immediately went light at the front. Feels so good to have the right pace back, though. And the lap times might not reflect them. Lap times might even be identical, but the car feels so much more correct now, which is the most important bit. Going a little too deep into the braking zone now in that corner. Now, unfortunately, there's a pretty big gap up ahead. So I might run out of laps to do anything about that position. But we are back in 13th at least. We're only one off where I was hoping to get to. Well, if we're honest, where I was really hoping to get to was the top 10. I was hoping I'd march up to 12th and then start working towards the actual top 10. but we'll see.
Put your brakes on.
Hope somebody's mad about something.
User disconnected from your channel.
Guessing somebody's getting... I'm guessing somebody got punted again. Oh. Probably gonna be some saltiness in the after race reports for this one. Oh. Yeah, I'm not really catching up to Emmanuel, it doesn't seem. I mean, obviously on the relative, it ping-pongs like crazy because it's not very accurate. But most of the time when I look down at it, it seems to be around the 10-second margin. So it doesn't seem like I'm actually gaining on him. I mean, he just did a 202 flat. So what's my lap? Not going to be a 202 flat. 202.6. I don't know why I'm not getting the same braking for that corner. Like, this corner feels exactly the same, but that first corner, for some reason, my brake point suddenly doesn't work. Which is very awkward. Oh, yellow flag. That's good for me. Probably somebody just kicking up dirt here. Oh, nope, that's not how you take that corner. That was technically a cut, but I lost a ton of time from it anyway. Oh. Let's put a huge drop of water on my leg. Not distracting at all. I'm just making way too many tiny mistakes now, and I'm quickly running out of laps to get any spots ahead of me. I mean, it is possible there might be some people who are on hard tires who are... Well, no. Even with full fuel, I think you would have had to come in on this lap or the lap before. So I think 13th might be where we land, unfortunately. But, as always with racing, anything can happen. Uh-oh, Sando has a penalty that he's ignoring. He might get DQ'd if he does that too much. If you don't have chat up, then in-game chat, he won't see that, so... Cool. That would not be ideal for him. I actually don't know how the P-Tracker penalties work, though. Or S-Tracker or PLP or wherever those penalties are coming from. The non-base penalties. I mean, the interesting thing is, even with all of the small cuts by accident that I've had, I have not had anything pop up in the bottom right. At least I haven't noticed. Maybe I had a penalty I accidentally ignored. That was much better. Oh, that was so much better. That's how I want to take that corner. Oh, look at the time I'm gaining on my delta. Look at that delta time climb. Oh, that's so good. So sexy when you see that number just climbing towards the positive. Well, towards the negative, actually, but climbing towards the good direction, we will say. was a little wide out of that penultimate corner. Made it work. Woo-hoo-hoo! Teensy bit of a slide out of the end of the last corner. Now it looks like we might have the leader coming up on us now. So on the mini-map, you notice there's a yellow arrow that's behind me. That means they are ahead of me on track, position-wise. So we might be getting lapped here before too long. So we'll just have to keep our eyes open for when that happens. Yeah, the gap to Emmanuel is just really, really constant, so unless he makes a mistake, I'm not sure I can grab 12th. Oops. That was almost a cut. It looks like it's Steve Jones, so it's not first place, interestingly enough. A little early on my braking that time. Well, the problem is he's been 10 seconds ahead for 4 laps now. So considering how constant that gap is, I think we're putting in very similar pace laps to one another. Like I said earlier, it's probably going to take a mistake from him to get that position, but it is racing, so you never know. There's always a possibility. That's why you just got to stay on it. Oh, Thor made a mistake, so he's now battling with Emmanuel. That might give me an opening. If they start battling side by side through a few corners and slowing each other up, that will definitely let me catch up.
You coming, Ross?
Because the relative is not very good in Assetto Corsa. I don't know why it's not very good, but it's very, very, very unreliable. Even on Kunos tracks, like tracks from the developer themselves. It's just an incredibly unreliable metric, unfortunately.
Cheers, Andy.
Gap behind actually grew. No, it didn't. It's about the same. As I did yesterday, I'm going to have to rest my eyes a bit. It's not anywhere near as bad as it was yesterday, but my eyes are starting to get a little worn. Yeah, exactly, Will. Anything can happen until you cross the line. There's always everything to play for. I mean, again, you never know. Something crazy could happen. And everybody ahead of me crashes, or their computers crash, or Assetto Corsa crashes, and all of a sudden I'm first. Like, you never give up until it's over. I've had people spin on the last lap and give me 2 positions out of it. I've had somebody dive bomb somebody else behind me, hit me, and then the guy 4 places back gets 3 positions out of it. Like, you never know what happens. But you stay in it and you push, push, push. Looks like Thor's got some tire issues. I can't tell if he's pitting or... Oh, he is pitting. But now we've got Emmanuel only 5 seconds ahead. And that will give us 12th. Now we're actually looking at 11th. And this is about the time of the race where I expect my extra lap on the tires to start paying slight dividends, because my tires will be a little bit better. Because you have to remember everything is multiplied by 4 when it comes to the tires. So it's as if I have 4 less laps on my tires than everybody else ahead of me. So feeling-wise, that's what it's going to feel like, where my tires feel significantly better than all of the cars ahead. Well, if those cars stopped earlier than I did. The other thing is, if those cars are on hard tires, this is when I really start making up an advantage on them. because the hards will be very consistent, but relatively slow. And this is the time period where the mediums really are right on the edge of dropping. So it's where I need to make the most out of the tire, more or less, before it drops off and my pace just starts to suffer. Yeah, there's actually a couple guys not too far up the ladder now. And on the bright side, the early laps where I couldn't put the pace back in the tire because I was getting reused to the way the car felt, actually ended up being a slight advantage because I was not pushing the tires when they were young. So I've actually got slightly better tires than I probably should at this point in the race. I just have to make sure I don't abuse them trying to catch up to and pass Emmanuel. Not to mention the fact that in GT3 cars, catching up to cars is one thing, passing them is another, which I saw with that Audi. It took a mistake from that Audi for me to be able to get by because he was just so much faster in a straight line than my setup was. The other thing is that as the fuel burns off, I'm able to push the braking points a little bit further. Oh, he's right there. Alright, I have to make sure my eyes don't get big. To make sure I keep my braking points correct, my acceleration points correct. Because I am very prone to seeing an opening and just flooring the gas and then spinning the car around. Oh, that was my fastest lap of the race. Like I said, this is when these tires feel fantastic. So it's all about utilizing that time period. It's also when the tires, for some reason, this is when these mediums actually feel like they have the most grip. It's very odd. It's not when they're new, and it's not right after they're new. It's quite a while into the stint with them. They suddenly feel like they just have significantly more grip than they had before. And then they fall off. But it's such an odd feeling in the tire to suddenly get that. Yeah, my guess is he either stopped earlier and he's on mediums, or he might just be on hards, and he might be trying to push him a little further than he should. But he definitely does not have the grip he needs right now. I mean, particularly from the Z4. The Z4 usually is extremely grippy everywhere. So my best opportunity is going to be under braking. He's still fast. Everybody's faster in a straight line than I am. But I mean, you can see how much later I can brake and how much more speed into the corner I can carry. And again, when you see that behind you, it's really hard not to push over the limit when you can see that car gaining on you into the corner, through the middle of the corner, and then initially off the corner. It's so hard not to push. Now I have Ekins right in front of me also. You might be able to grab another position here. We still have 3 laps after this one that we're on. About 3.5 laps. This is beautiful evidence of exactly why I wanted to pit after lap 15. Because I noticed this in last week's race, where the medium tires fall off so harsh, and the hards start to fall off right at the end of the race. Which is why, for me, the one stop with a tire change ended up being the optimal strategy call. Again, for somebody who's faster and can baby those hards a little bit, they can probably get more overall speed out of that. Oh, you can just see, you can visually see how much more corner speed I have. than this guy ahead of me. I have to be a little bit careful here. I don't want to punt him, and in particular, I do not want to damage the front of my car, because we saw how much pain that causes. Oh, he might just be giving up the position. Oh, nope, he just went wide. I'm pretty sure we can outbrake him into the first corner, though. F1 style move. I didn't mean to do that, but the car just washed out on exit. That was very much an F1 move, where I just cut across the track. It's not intended to be that style of move, but it's what my car dictated I needed to do. Because it just washed towards the exit. Now I have to make sure I don't do anything dumb in these last 2 laps. Whew. There is another position that is possible. He's not too far ahead. Oh, I'm taking too much of these corners now. I need to be really careful with that. My tires are still really, really fine, though. I mean, they're still at 95, and the tires before didn't start to feel bad until about 92. So as long as I'm not really throwing it at the corners, which I have no reason to anymore, then I should be good to just get it home with these tires. I may have found the McLaren's strength, though. If its strength is just being nice to the tires, then that's a good strength for somebody who drives like me. Well, you have to remember, Antraxo, that the relative is very fluid. So a lot of times it will look like I'm gaining immensely, and then all of a sudden it'll jump like 4 seconds in the opposite direction. Yeah, it seems like medium to medium was the best tire choice. And again, most of that information for me just came from last week's race, where the mediums were just so much better in their lifetime, in their prime. But once they fell off, they were terrible, whereas the hards were just kind of terrible everywhere. So you either dealt with having to take tires and having a slightly slower pit stop, or you dealt with really crappy tires. Oh, Andy made a mistake. Got our eyes on 9th or 8th. I'm in 9th? Okay. Calm down. Relax, get into your rhythm. We got our eyes on the next position. I don't care what number it is. We just got our eyes ahead. Almost made a really dumb mistake of getting super excited about what position I was in. So we just have our eyes focused forward. See if he makes any egregious errors. Oh, there's 2 of them right ahead now. I think Flavio is not for position, though. I think Flavio is pretty far back in the pack. Yeah. Oh, Andy isn't for position either. Darn it. So the next one for position is actually Neil, who is still 30 some odd seconds up. So this is the position I have. I wasn't looking at the bottom left to check what the positions were. So Neil Pardo is actually the next one I'm fighting for position. Last lap. I think I'm not a lap down. This will be one of the first REVS events. If this is true, if I'm not a lap down, this will be one of the first REVS events I've ever completed on the lead lap.
Mark, don't you have another
Is the
lap
race
to go?
finished?
No.
Yes. As long as you cross the line,
It's so hard to tell with Assetto Corsa, unfortunately. I don't know if I'm actually a lap down or not. So it's worth finishing this lap just in case. Because once the leader crosses the line, the positions freeze. Like, that's where you finish. I don't like what Flavio is doing right now. I don't like this at all. He's not on the same lap as me. I don't like him pushing into the corner like that. Like, that's really scary. The last thing you want is to have somebody you're not fighting with for position punch you off into a corner. And I think I was a lap down, and I think the race is technically over, but like I said, with the Assetto Corsa, it's safer to just go ahead and finish. So I think my position is safe no matter what. That's so scary with that car behind me. Because again, if this lap does matter, then that's super scary. We didn't finish 6th because it's not correct anymore, but with people leaving. But that was intense. We picked up so many positions right at the end. Oh, that was such an intense fight. That was fun. That was really, really fun. I wouldn't mind the fade to black if it ghosted your car immediately. But the fact that your car is still in contact with other cars is the thing that I don't like about the fade to black. If it immediately took your car and put it in the pit and faded to black, I think that would be pretty okay. All in all, I'm very satisfied with that, though. To come back from my small mistakes at the beginning and that impact that we had with whoever it was, Steven, I think it was, to be able to fight back from both of those up into the top 10, I am really happy with that. That gives me more confidence going forward that I can actually be competitive and race around these guys in the GT3s, which is good. It probably will vary immensely track to track, because at Barcelona I was absolutely atrocious, whereas around here I had much more pace. Actually, it looked like one person had the hards. Everybody else was on mediums. So I guess I just took my pit stop
to make sure Flavio crosses the line
at a better point.
Okay, on this lap, Flavio, that's it. You've finished.
Yeah, Carl. Well, and that's one of the nice things. I mean, I have to rest my eyes, so it's kind of, well, I don't have to, but it would be
just gonna get a drink. Be back in a minute.
It would be a full day of a bad situation if I didn't rest my eyes afterwards. I just want to make sure the race is completely over so that I get the full replay, which is why I'm waiting here.
Keep going to the end of the pit lane, Flavio, for me.
Would have been really nice if I had been able to.
Keep going. Flavio. Okay, that'll do.
It would have been really nice if I had been able to start on the grid.
For the crash.
I lost the replay.
I'm so confused. I'm sitting here.
Fair play to you, mate.
Microphone activated.
Why was like everyone just stopping halfway through and everything?
Because Assetto Corsa stops counting your laps when you cross the finish line after the leader.
I fucking hope it does.
Me too.
Well, nah, I'm talking about like Zach just stopped after the last corner, We didn't get to the finish line. I didn't know what he was doing.
I'd already crossed the line, but I ran out of fuel.
But you were like at the start of the straight.
Yeah, I was out of fuel there. I just kept cruising around for another lap and ran out of fuel there.
Right.
What happened at the start? I don't know who hit me.
Like I said, I think there's going to be some salt.
We could certainly look into that.
I had red damage back and front, and that was awful.
Yeah, who's that?
Andy.
Andy.
Wow. 1.1 seconds
There was
better
2 cars lagging in front of me, so
than
I
my
was holding
previous
back a
best.
bit, and
8th
then I
place.
just got hit and spun round and into the wall and all sorts.
Andy Hardy, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw you. You were in front of me. You just lifted up in the air.
I actually wasn't that far behind Neil. I was only 12. I ended only 12 seconds behind him. So I actually wasn't all that far behind him, really. Oh, look, Sando ended up getting a manual. Well, that might have been on the last lap, so it might not have counted.
Sound resumed.
But I pushed.
That could be Will.
30 laps. I made some mistake, or it's okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and hop off TeamSpeak. If they need to get a hold of me, they can do it on the forum or through private message or something. It's just they'll talk there for a while, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with. I'm just not. I want to view the replay. I want to see what happened. I also want to see that incident with Steven, because again, from my view in the race, it felt like he went wide, lost it, and then T-boned me, and then just continued on as if nothing happened. If that is what happened, it's really frustrating. Not the end of the world, but it's not very nice. So we'll see. I still can't believe I started from the pits. That's really... So, if nothing else, that's a lesson to me, because effectively that means when I'm out on track in qualifying, if it's close to ticking over to the race, just stay out on track and let the game transition me into the pits. If I have more than a minute left, go ahead and go back to the pits. So again, at least I have something to learn from it. It sucks to start from the pits, but Neil also started from the pits. See, I took the correct pit exit, which a lot of people were not doing. There might be some penalties for not taking correct pit exits, because there were a lot of people who cut across that line. A lot of people. Let me move the mouse. Yeah, I like the Redux livery I did on this a little bit more, but this one isn't bad. I'm still perfectly satisfied with this one. Thor was really scary behind me. It was really scary. Because he would brake so late and then just dive for the apex, whether there was room or not. Oh. That was not good. So what happened there? That's really, really awkward. Because when we make contact, it's that's really weird. I don't think I necessarily need to apologize for that. That's such an awkward contact to make. That was really weird. Oh well. Because it almost looked like his car jumped. Wow. I did not realize we went 3 wide into that corner. I'm glad he didn't get I'm glad Thor did not get a run into that corner, because that is... Don't do that. Just don't do that. Oh. Alright, I left him enough room there, so that's all fine. I did technically cut that, but he got a run on me anyway. I actually just missed that apex. I mean, even there, like Thor, he's waiting till beyond the last, like he's already started braking. He's almost entering the corner, and then he's suddenly jutting back in behind me and coming back out. It might be a ping thing. It might just be it's rendering it differently from me than it is for him, but if that is what he's doing, that's not ideal. Right when you start braking, if you're not going to make the move, you should come back in line if there's room. And a lot of these times he has room. Flex. Wow. Oh, that's quite the statement, sir. See, like there. That's a perfect example. So, right here, right at this point, we're both already braking. If he knows he's not going to go for this move, which there's no way he's going to because he's not out braking me, he should start pulling over to the side here. He waits until here to suddenly jump over. So not only is it not ideal for me, because I think this person might continue going towards that apex with a dive bomb, but also it's really not optimal for Nathan Hoyle behind him, who has no idea where he's going to place his car until he suddenly juts over. So it's really not the way you want to handle that braking situation. If you want to show your car outside, even if you know you're not going to make a move, do it. But when you start braking, pull back in line. Again, it's not the end of the world. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not a terrible thing, but it's definitely something that is not ideal, and it's definitely something you should consider. Because realistically, you do that enough times that eventually, when you do actually have a run and you do get a run on me and outbrake me, I'm going to assume it's the same situation and still cut towards the apex, and then I'm going to cut across your nose without realizing it. So it creates a whole bad scenario where you do that enough times, eventually I'm just going to be like, okay, he's just pulling out again, he doesn't have a run, I'll cut over. And then that time he actually does have a run. And Assetto Corsa, it's a little different because you see the, thank you, Bunksha, because you can see the red arrows when they come up. My lines weren't that bad, actually. A lot more of my lines were unoptimal. They really weren't bad. God, there were a lot of cars around. There were a lot of, there's a lot of craziness happening at the start that I wasn't really all that aware of. Wow, wow. McLaren definitely liked this circuit a lot, though. And my particular setup with it worked quite well. Having to fix that damage at the pit stop definitely was not ideal either, though. I think that cost me at least 2 positions in the pit stop. I was able to get them all back, so it's not that. Yeah, seeing it from the outside, I had quite a lot of pace on the back guys. And Risto here, I had a lot of pace on him into the corner, but I didn't have very much pace on him out of the corner. So at this stage of the race, it was pretty tough because everybody's tires are great at the start. So it's tough to really initiate something unless you get one heck of a run out and can really brake late into the corner. Yeah, Albert Park is fun. It generates better racing than I thought it would. AMG GT3. Yeah. I actually do like that car. That was the other car I was debating with driving for this series. But I ended up going with the McLaren because its setups offer more options in terms of changing them. Because the default setup on the AMG is almost entirely soft all the way around, like almost to the limit of the soft. So you can't really take it any softer. And I wanted a car that was more towards the middle, that I had more wiggle room to set up. So that's why I ended up going with the 650. And I wanted one of the 2 new cars, which is why it was between those 2. Because I'm not a fan of driving the same car that everybody drives. So the BMW is pretty much always off the table for me. Because I cannot stand driving the car that 50% of the field is driving. It's boring to me. I mean, it's a boring car for me to drive anyway. There, I would have had a heck of a run, but I had to lift. It was so close. I think if I had been a tiny bit more brave with this, I could have stayed in it and avoided him. But from on board, it looked like I was 100% going to hit him if I stayed in it. But if you look from outside, I actually had quite a bit of room to continue throttling. But from on board, it looked like I was going to careen into his rear quarter panel, which in that corner, when he's going this way and I'm coming this way, would have just been a complete pit maneuver, and it would have been terrible. So I'm glad I backed out in that situation, but I definitely didn't need to, looking at it from the exterior view. No, we didn't, in that corner, we didn't go into the corner side by side. He had no obligation to give me any room. I just got a brilliant run coming through and out of the corner, and I just ran out of room to do anything with it. So that was absolutely not on him at all. He did exactly what he should have. Because I entered the corner completely behind him. I just got a much better run through it than he did. And it cost me a lot of time, but that one was just 100% my own fault. And again, for the type of driving I want to do and the type of driving I want to promote, I'm infinitely happier to do that than instead take the risk, hit him, ruin his race, and potentially impact my race negatively at the same time. I'm much happier to slide a little bit, lose a couple positions, and just continue with neither of us having any impact. And there I had to lift big time. Because Steven didn't get through that corner well at all. But again, it's just one of those situations, particularly in a 30-lap race, which is about a little over an hour. I mean, in lap 3, there's no reason to be that aggressive at that point. So just lift a little bit and come back. Exactly, Bantu. Just fight, challenge, drive hard, but above all, be safe. And above all, for me, be nice. Like, don't be a jerk when you're driving. Because we're all just doing this for fun. We're all just out here having a bit of fun. I got a really good run on him, but again, every single car in the field, albeit like 2, were faster than me in a straight line. It made it so hard to actually initiate passes. On the bright side, there's a couple places where you can really make some time up around here. Okay, this is where the incident happened. Yeah, he just got wide and hit me. And this is what I was not happy with. The fact that he just immediately continued on and just drove off. When that incident was 100% his fault from his own error. Now, I want to see it from this view and make sure I gave him room. Oh, that's plenty of room. That's more room than he even needed. Look at all of that room. Yeah, he just went wide and just careened into me. Oddly enough, that little tap was enough damage to... Like, after this point, my 4th, 5th, 5th, and 6th gear speeds were not where they should have been. Again, in that incident, it's not the end of the world, but the fact that he just drove off as if nothing happened is the part that annoys me. Because that is his fault in that incident. He went wide, he spun, hit me, caused damage to both of us. So realistically, it would have been nice if he at least waited for me to go, being like, my bad, let's continue on. And unfortunately, the front aero was not good after this point. I had tons of understeer that I did not have before, which I realized right there that I had massive understeer. And then coming down the straightaway, I realized I didn't have the same top end that I had before because of that aero damage. Looks like his car was almost completely fine, which is even more annoying. Man, look at the crunch on the side. all of that damage to the beautiful side of my car. Oh, it hurts. In real life, that would hurt a lot more because that's probably what, like a $5,000 side skirt, and probably like a $8,000 side panel. It's probably a very expensive repair to just completely replace those pieces. And then when I nosed it into the wall, it didn't help either. Because the damage is set to 100% for these races. So even a slight tap will definitely alter your aero quite a bit. Now, is there a way to see my lap times? Like just a list of my laps. No. Maybe? No. I wonder if P-Tracker shows it. No, P-Tracker's just not going to work if you're not on a server for it. It looks like there's not an easy way, or at least not one that I know of, to show my lap times. Because I was really interested to see what my lap times were afterwards. All about the paint. Oh. I did eventually get past it again. Ooh. I don't like seeing myself clip those corners. I don't like cutting corners. Here I left plenty of room. Like yet again, if I was in his position and I had taken off there, what personally, again, this is just my own mentality, what I would have done in that situation is I would have just let the other car go. Stopwatch. I mean, it says laps, but it doesn't show anything more than the current lap. So I mean, I guess I can see that my lap time was down, but I can't. What I want is just a rundown of all of my laps. That's what that means. All of my laps. Alright, so then I got around Flavio at some point. Really, I just want to see the end now, when I was really, really catching those guys. I think it's right around here, where I was finally running down some of them. You should be able to see the left side of the car should be completely fresh now. Yeah, again, one of the really nice things about Assetto Corsa is that when you go into the garage and you fix things, it 100% fixes them, which is very, very nice. Which again, some people might cry, oh, it's not realistic, oh, how dare they, but it's a heck of a lot more fun because the second half of my race was so much better because I was able to 100% repair my car and go back out and have a lot more fun pushing my car to the limit instead of having to deal with broken pieces on the car the entire time. On lap 11, I will check that out in a minute, Carl. I forgot about that. I forgot that, yeah, because it was coming through the section not too far ahead. All of a sudden, just two cars behind me got erased from one another. God, the McLaren sounds so much better from the outside than it does from the inside. Like, it really, really does. It sounds so bleh from the inside. But from the outside, it's all meaty and strong. That was a fun race. I am genuinely happy that I actually had fun in GT3 cars. Like, that doesn't happen for me. I am usually miserable in a GT3 car. It's usually just an entire day of, I'm bored. So it was really nice to actually have a race where I not only enjoyed myself, but I was actually able to move through the field. Wow, yeah, his tires really were just shot. I mean, from the exterior, you can really see it even more. Where he just has to brake earlier and he can't accelerate anywhere near as hard as I can out of the corners. But he was still faster in a freaking straight line than I was. I mean, that being said, that honestly might have been why, at least partially why my tires lasted longer. Because of the extra downforce I had on, I probably wasn't using the tires as much through the corners as many of these other guys were. Which realistically might have been one of my saving graces towards the end, when my tires were just surprisingly better than the guys ahead of me. Like, I am notoriously bad on my tires, so the fact that they were that good that late was really cool. Also, the headlights on this thing look awesome. Again, regardless of how it drives, the one thing you can't say about the McLaren is that it doesn't look good. Because even if you don't like the stylings, you have to admit that it looks very nice, very sharp and clean. And has some really, particularly at the front, it has some really good angles to it. Is there anything in Assetto Corsa that lets you, any application that lets you view brake temperatures? So I'm kind of curious. I have a feeling my brakes were kind of cold with the way that the car was behaving into turn 1 and turn 3. Because once I got to this part of the track, the brakes felt fine. But into the first corner and into the third corner, brakes really weren't working all that great. God, that R8 has so much clag on the bottom of it. Wow, he went real wide there. Yeah, this is Assetto Corsa. Assetto Corsa. That should be what my stream is set to. Yeah, it is. Okay. You made me all nervous that I had it set wrong. Oh, okay. That wasn't as from inside the car. This looked much more like an F1 style move where I just pulled over in front of him, but I actually had more than enough room. That's probably one of the cleanest passes I have ever done in my entire racing game career, period. Just nice and clean, right out back to the other apex, right out. It felt like it was much closer behind me than it was. Wow, that looked like I almost stopped coming out of that third corner. I think it's because Ekins behind me carried so much speed into the corner. Oh, you can see the speed difference there. Just the amount of speed I can carry. All right, so lap 11. It's be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Should be around here. I probably counted wrong because there should be cars around me. Oh, this is where Flavio hit me. I'm interested to see this. I think he just outbroke himself, but I'm interested. Thought it was speed cars. No, definitely not. In Project Cars, I wouldn't be able to see other people's custom liveries. Although I guess you could mistake it for that, since a lot of people had the pure white liveries. I think there's a lot of people using liveries that they haven't uploaded to the REVS site. Just assuming that they would work. Wow, he had a heck of a run here. Yeah, he just outbroke himself a bit and I turned into him. That was very much half and half. I honestly think that might be mostly my fault. Because he had a good, well, it's a really last second move. That's just very half and half. Because I'm looking in my mirror until about here, and now I'm not really looking in my mirror anymore, and that's where he gets his extra little run from. So that's fine. I definitely could have left room. He definitely could have not dove. I'm very happy to just call that a whatever, half and half. Doesn't matter incident. But then I'm pretty sure this is the lap where some craziness happens. So let's try and find his car, because I know it happens behind me. It's gonna be easiest to do from this camera. Alright, this will give us enough of a view. This is from Steven. And so he gets a bit of a run here. Oh, they just touch. Alright. Oh! Oh! Oh, it's not over. Oh. I want to watch this again, though. Oops, wrong button. So he's here. He's over as far as he can go. And he starts running wide. I mean, he could have given more room, but that's mostly on this car. I mean, because he is over as far as he can be here, but he starts drifting left, and that's when the issues start. And as the car on the inside, you have to assume that car's not going to give you any room. I mean, again, it's not the best situation, and the car on the outside could have given more room, but it's you have to mostly put it on the other car. Okay, so he spins it around. Yeah. You can't do that. Once you get it turned around, you need to turn the wheel as hard as you can right, because this is a very fast corner. People are going towards the outside edge. Like, the line through this corner is out here. Like, it's right about here. So the cars coming through are likely to go this direction towards the wall. So you really need to try and keep your car as far to the right as possible. So when you light up the rears here, you need to have it pointed to the right and not come out across like that. The first part of the incident, I would technically put on the inside car, but it's very, very, very close one way or the other. The second part of the incident is 100% on Flavio. That being said, that being able to turn your car around is a skill that not very many people have. So it's a skill that you don't really, it's a skill that's learned the more you do it and the more you have awareness around you. So it's unfortunate, but it happens a lot. I'm perfectly satisfied with how my race went, though. Again, particularly looking at the other happenings. If you mean the start of that incident, it's not quite a racing incident because the car on the inside started to wash out, and that's what caused it to start. It's closer to 60-40 or 70-30 than it is to 50-50 in that instance. Because if the car on the inside holds his line 100% and just hugs that right side as hard as they can, then that incident doesn't happen at all. Because there was enough room for them to do that, to stay all the way on the inside. Now, that being said, when it comes to actually being in the moment, there's all sorts of different things. Maybe their car washed out there all the time anyway. Maybe their setup washed out of it. Maybe their tires were starting to go down. I mean, there's so many things. That's why I'm not saying it's 100% that inside driver's fault. But it's definitely mostly on that inside driver.